Hello, and welcome to the next helpful video, at least hopefully helpful. This video is about Unit 2, Lesson 3, Rice Ratios. The basic concepts that you have to learn from this are equivalent ratios and changing recipe amounts. Those are the two things that you need to learn. So let's start with equivalent ratios. So here we have 8 cups of flour to 10 cups of water. You might be making a bread dough using this type of mixture. So let's see what would be equivalent to that. Well, it would be equivalent to that if we multiply or also if we divide. We can get equivalent using either one of them. So let's multiply. Well, 8 times 2 is 16 cups of flour to 20 cups of water. But we could also divide. 8 divided by 2 is 4 cups of flour to 5 cups of water. Because I divided, I could divide again. 2 cups to 2.5 cups. I could divide the original by 5. 1 3/5 cups to 2 cups. All of these are equivalent to 8 cups of flour to 10 cups of water. I could multiply the original by 1.5. 8 times 1.5 is 12 cups. 10 times 1.5 is 15 cups. These are all equivalent. It doesn't matter what type of number you are using, you just have to multiply both numbers by the same number or divide both numbers by the same number. Here's a quick hint, multiplying and dividing are the same thing, they're just inverses. All right, so that's the idea of equivalent ratios. Now, one of the major ways of using equivalent ratios is when you have a recipe. So here is a recipe for a marinara sauce. It is a tomato-based Italian pasta sauce. So the recipe contains 28 ounces of tomatoes, 6 ounces of onion, 2 cloves of garlic, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and 1 cup of basil, and it makes 8 servings. Well, what if you don't have 8 servings of people coming? Well, and you want to then convert it so you can make 12 servings out of it. Well, the first thing you need to do is figure out what to multiply or divide by. To get from 8 to 12, we have to know 8 times what number is 12. Well, it's not a whole number, so I'll do 12 divided by 8 is equal to 1 4/8, which is 1 1/2. So that means I need to multiply each of these ingredients by 1 1/2. Half of 28 is 14. 28 plus 14 makes 30. 42 ounces of tomatoes. 6 times 1 1/2. Half of 6 is 3. 6 plus 3 makes 9 ounces of onion. 2 cloves of garlic. Half of 2 is 1. That makes 3 cloves of garlic. 1 times 1 1/2 is 1 1/2 cups of basil. And that's how you do it. You just have to multiply everything by 1 1/2. 1 1/2, by the way, is called the scale factor. Now, let's say you wanted to make this recipe, but you did not have 6 ounces of onions. Your onion was slightly smaller. Your onion only has 4 ounces. So that means we need to make everything smaller. So that means we need to figure out what to multiply or divide by. Well, to go from 6 to 4, that's a little difficult. I'm actually going to do 4 divided by 6, and that's equal to 2/3. So what I'm actually going to do, rather than dividing, is I'm going to multiply each of them by 2/3. All right, 28 ounces times 2/3. 28 times 2 is 56, and 1/3 of that is 1. 26 is 8, and 2/3 ounces of tomatoes. 6 times 2/3 is 4 ounces of onion, and we knew that because that was our goal, making 4 ounces of onions. 2 times 2/3 is 4/3, or 1 1/3 cloves of garlic. Now, for those of you who have used garlic in cooking in the past, you know that you don't actually have 1/3 of a clove. What you do is you find one regular size and one really tiny clove of garlic, and then you've got it. 2 times 2/3, again, is 1 1/3 tablespoons of olive oil, and that you would actually have to measure. 1 cup times 2/3 is 2/3 cup of basil. And that's how you do this. So you have to decide what to multiply or divide by to go from one to the other, and then you use that and you multiply each of the ingredients by that number, and you get all of the information you want. I realized I forgot the olive oil for 12 servings. We're multiplying by 1 1/2. That's 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Don't forget all the ingredients like I did. I hope that makes sense. Ask your teacher if you have any questions.